Hey guys, this is our team and player showcase for NHL North American Columbus Blue Jackets. And first up, we have Seth Jones with the overall average of 87, his potential being elite, and his attributes. His player style is two-way defender, with his weakest stat being skating and shooting and physical at a 4-star rating. Puck skills, defense, and senses are at a 4.5. And up next we have Zach WENNBERG, overall average of 87, and potential is elite. Here are his attributes. Player type being a two-way defender. His weakest skills being puck skills, shooting, puck skills, senses, skating, and physical at 4 stars. And we have his defense at 5 stars, with his shooting at 4.5. And up next, Pierre-Luc Dubois with the overall average of 86, potential being elite, and his attributes. His player type being a power forward. And let's see here, guys. He seems to have 4 stars across the board, so everything is a 4-star rating. And here we have Gustav NYQUIST, overall average of 84, potential is elite, and his attributes. His player type is sniper. And let's take a look at these stats. Physical being his lowest at 3 stars. We have his defense at 3.5. We have his puck skills, senses, and shooting at 4 stars, and skating at 4.5. Up next, Brian Murray with the overall average of 84, and potential is elite. Here are his attributes, with the player type being two-way defender. And on to his stats. Let's see which are the weakest. Shooting is his lowest at 3 stars. Then we have puck skills, senses, and physical at 3.5. And defense and skating at 4. And here we have Cam Atkinson, overall average of 84, and potential top 6F. Here are his attributes, his player type being sniper, and let's see, his weakest stat being physical at 3-star rating. Defense is at a 3.5-star rating. Let's see what else. Senses, shooting at 4 stars, and puck skills and skating at 4.5. And here we have Oliver Bjorkstrand, overall average being 83, and his potential is top 6F. Here are his attributes, player type being sniper. Let's see, his lowest being physical at 3 stars, defense and senses at 3.5 stars, puck skills, shooting, and skating are at 4 stars. Up next, David Savard, overall average of 82, and his potential is top 4D. Here are his attributes, player type being a two-way defender. And let's take a look at these stats here. Puck skills, senses, and shooting all at 3 stars, skating at 3.5 stars, and defense and physical at 4 stars. Here we have Alexander WENNBERG, overall average of 82, potential is elite. and his attributes. His player type being a playmaker. His lowest is defense and physical at 3 stars. Senses and shooting at 3.5 stars. Puck skills and skating at 4 stars. And Nick Foligno, overall average of 82. Potential is top 6F. And his attributes. Player type being a 2-way forward. Look at his stats here. Lowest being shooting, skating, defense, puck skills, senses, all at 3.5 stars, with his physical being at 4 stars. And here is Marcus Utevara, the overall average of 81, his potential top 4D, and his attributes. His player type being 2-way defender. And here we have his senses at 3 stars, puck skills, defense, shooting, and physical at 3.5, and his skating is at 4 stars. Next up, Josh Anderson. Overall average of 80. Potential is top 6F. And his attributes. His player type is power forward. And puck skills, senses, shooting, and defense at 3 stars. We have skating at 3.5 stars, with his physical being 4 stars. Here we have Boone Jenner. Overall average of 80. Potential being top 9F. And his attributes. His player type is a 2-way forward. And let's see his stats here. Puck skills, senses, and shooting at 3 stars. Defense, skating at 3.5, and his physical being 4 stars. Here we have Alexandre Texier. Overall average of 80. Potential is top 6F. And his attributes. Player type is a 2-way forward. And let's see here. His lowest stats being senses, skating, physical at 3 stars, with offense, puck skills, shooting at 3.5 stars. Here we have Mikhail Grigorenko. Overall average of 80. Potential is top 6F. And his attributes. Player type being a sniper. His weakest stats are defense, senses at 3 stars. We have his shooting, his physical, skating, and puck skills at 3.5. And here we have Vladislav Gavrikov. Overall average of 80, with his potential top 6D, and his attributes. His player type being defensive defenseman, and the lowest stat being puck skills and senses at 2.5 stars. We have skating and shooting at 3 stars, defense at 3.5, and physical at 4 stars. And here we have Brandon Dubinsky. Overall average of 79, potential top 9F, and his attributes. Player type being a 2-way forward, his weakest being puck skills, senses, and shooting at 3 stars. And we have his defense, skating at 3.5, with the physical at 4 stars. And here we have Emil BEMSTRÖM. Overall average of 79, potential top 9F, and his attributes. Player type is a sniper. And let's see, lowest would be his physical at 2.5 stars. We have defense and senses at 3 stars. And puck skills, skating, and shooting at 3.5. Here we have Devin Shore, overall average of 79. His potential top 9F. And onto his attributes. Player type is two-way forward. And let's see, his weakest stats being defense, senses, and shooting at 3 stars. We have puck skills, skating, and physical at 3.5. Here we have Dean Kuckin, overall average 78, potential being top 6D, and his attributes. Player type is two-way defender, and his weakest being senses at 2.5 stars. We have his defense, puck skills, and shooting at 3 stars, and physical, skating at 3.5. Here we have Riley Nash with the overall average of 78. Potential is top 9F. And his attributes. His player type is a two-way forward. Let's see, weakest stats being puck skills, senses, and shooting at 3 stars. We have his defense, skating, and physical at 3.5. Up next, Eric Robinson. Overall average of 77. Potential being bottom 6F. And his attributes. Player type being a two-way forward. And his lowest being senses and shooting at 2.5 stars. Puck skills, defense at 3 stars. And skating and physical at 3.5. Here we have Scott Harrington, overall average being a 77, and his potential is 7th D. Here are his attributes, his player type being a defensive defenseman, lowest stats being senses at 2 star, puck skills, shooting at 2.5. We have defense at 3 stars, skating at 3.5 stars, and physical at 4 stars. And here we have Nathan Gerbe, overall average of 76, potential being bottom 6F, and his attributes. Player type being a sniper, and his lowest being physical at 1.5 stars. Defense is at a 2.5. We have his puck skills, senses, and shooting at 3 stars, and his skating at 3.5 stars. Here we have Kevin Stenlund, overall average being a 76. His potential is top 9F, and his attributes. Player type being a two-way forward. Let's see. Weakest stats being senses, puck skills, and defense at 2.5 stars. We have shooting at 3 stars, skating at 3.5, and physical also 3.5. And next up, Liam Bowdy, overall average of 76 and potential top 6F. Just noticed he's wearing a collared shirt with a tie. It's pretty out of the ordinary, I guess. And his attributes. Let's see. Player type being a two-way forward. Let's see the weakest stats being his physical at 2 stars. Puck skills at 2.5 stars. His defense, senses, and shooting at 3 stars, and his skating at 3.5. And last, we have Andrew Peak, overall average of 75. Potential is top 4D, and his attributes. Player type being a two-way forward, a two-way defender, whoops. And let's take a look at these stats here. Lowest is his senses at 1.5, puck skills at a 2, his shooting, defense, and skating at 3, and his physical at 3.5. And that was our team and player showcase for NHL North American Columbus Blue Jackets.